There we go.
Just grab some more here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nicole Butcher, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Ontario Power Generation. On behalf of all employees in the management team, it is my great pleasure to welcome you here today to our Darlington Generating Station. Before we begin, I'd like to respectfully acknowledge the site we are standing on today is located on the traditional and treaty territories of the nations covered under the Williams Treaty. These include the Mississaugas of Scugog Island, the Alderville First Nation, Hiawatha First Nation, Curve Lake First Nation, and the Chippewa nations of Georgina Island, Beausoleil, and Rama. We offer our gratitude to the Indigenous communities for their care for and teachings about this land on which we have the privilege to work and live. This morning, I'm pleased to welcome the Honourable Stephen Lecce, Ontario's new Minister of Energy and Electrification, and the Honourable Sam Oosterhoff, Associate Minister of Energy Intensive Industries. I know it's been a bit of a whirlwind week for the Minister Lecce as he's come back from a trip to Romania in support of Ontario's nuclear industry. As the saying goes, a rolling stone gathers no moss, and there's clearly no moss on you, Minister. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for making OPG and Darlington Nuclear your first official event as Minister, here in Clarington, the clean energy capital of Ontario. As you're aware, this is a very exciting time to be in the energy sector and to be taking on this portfolio. As we look to build clean energy sources to support Ontario's electrifying and growing future, we're fortunate to be in a strong position to lead globally, particularly on the nuclear stage. And it's all happening right here at Darlington, with the station's successful ongoing refurbishment and our project to build North America's first fleet of SMRs at this site. These two projects and our efforts to advance new nuclear in Canada and around the world have firmly placed OPG and Ontario in the pole position. In the coming years, we look forward to working with you in the province to advance these and many other projects to help power economic growth, fight climate change, and electrify the lives of people across the province. With that, I'd now like to welcome the local MPP for this area and Ontario's Minister of Public and Business Services, Delivery and Procurement, Todd McCarthy, to share his remarks. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Nicole, for that kind introduction. I would like to welcome everyone to Durham Region, Canada's clean energy capital, and of course, welcome to the Darlington Energy Park for today's exciting announcement. It's a pleasure to welcome my caucus colleagues, Associate Minister, the Honourable Sam Oosterhoff, and of course my Durham area colleagues, MPP Lauren Coe from Whitby and MPP Patrice Barnes from Ajax, who are here with us today. I also want to recognize Jeff Parnell, President of the Power Union Workers, and our first speaker today, Nicole Butcher, the Chief Operations Officer of Ontario Power Generation. Now, before I begin, I wish to thank Minister Stephen Lecce for his leadership across the public sector. It brings me great joy to join you on our first announcement, rather your first announcement, as Ontario's new Minister of Energy and Electrification. Ontario is known throughout the world for advancing clean, reliable, and affordable nuclear power. And I'm proud to be the Member of Provincial Parliament for Durham, which is home to a world-renowned nuclear operator and supply chain that is providing reliable, clean power for millions of homes and businesses right here in the great province of Ontario. The nuclear industry in Durham drives the creation of new jobs and powers economic growth across the region and the province. I was thrilled to join Premier Ford here in December of 2022 to announce the official groundbreaking for the first new small modular reactor right here in Darlington. And I'm thrilled to be here today to share in this announcement. As the Honourable Stephen Lecce, Minister of Energy and Electrification, will highlight, the world is taking notice of our innovation in the nuclear space. Ontario is committed to working with partners across the world to share best practices and technology so that millions more across the world can benefit from our success. Today's announcement is another giant leap forward towards solidifying and sustaining our position as a global energy leader. I'm honoured to be the Member of Provincial Parliament for Durham within Durham Region during these very, very exciting times. And my thanks goes out again to Minister Lecce and Premier Ford for advancing this very important and essential work. And now I would like to ask the Minister of our new Minister of Energy and Electrification, the Honourable Stephen Lecce, to come forward to the podium for his remarks. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning. Thank you so much, MPP McCarthy, for your welcome and leadership, and of course to Nicole, the OPG, for your incredible welcome. I want to give thanks to Jeff Parnell, the President of the Power Workers Union, for being with us and welcoming Associate Minister Oosterhoff with us in his first official announcement too on behalf of the Ministry of Energy and Electrification. Of course, to the amazing Patrice Barnes and Lauren Coe, strong representatives from this community, thank you for your advocacy for nuclear energy in this province. And let me just start by saying how incredibly honored I am to be taking on this new role in Premier Ford's cabinet as Ontario's Minister of Energy Electrification. It was just a few days ago after my appointment that I flew to Romania with one mission in mind: to secure a deal that will advance our economy, create jobs for our workers, and further solidify Ontario as a global leader in clean energy. And this work is critical, now more than ever. And it may be the early days for me in this ministry, but what has become already abundantly clear is that we must act with urgency and responsibility to meet this serious, if existential challenge for Ontario families and businesses. And it's why my mandate is to scale up and to build upon our plan, an ambitious plan to produce clean and affordable energy to fuel our growth now and well into the future. And that includes exporting Ontario nuclear ingenuity, technology and innovation to the world, to grow economies around the world while reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Ontario and Canada's nuclear leadership can be the solution to the challenges so many governments around the world are facing. Now, under our Premier's leadership, we have established ourselves as a global clean energy leader. It's why when I met with the Romanian Minister of Energy to communicate Ontario's ongoing commitment to nuclear energy and our partnership, to sign a major deal. And I was proud on behalf of our government to announce that Ontario has secured a 7-year, $360 million investment and agreement to export Ontario's nuclear expertise to refurbish one of Romania's nuclear stations. A significant investment. And our workers, the skilled and talented women and men behind me, have and continue to deliver multi-billion-dollar nuclear refurbishments on time and ahead of schedule, something that I heard loud and clear that the world demands more of. But it's not just our refurbishments that have established us as a world leader in this space. It's also the work happening at Bruce Power, at Pickering, and on the project behind me, Canada and the G7's first small modular reactor that is being built right here in this community. And our Premier was on this site in December with Todd and others to officially break ground. And just a year and a half later, I'm pleased to officially announce today that the first phase of site preparations, work for the small modular reactor, has been completed again on time and on budget. And of course, to maintain this forward momentum, I'm officially announcing the start of the next phase, phase 2, as we work to build small modular reactors to energize our province, our country, and literally the world. And this work includes excavation, the construction of shoring walls, as well as the land clearance for 3 additional small modular reactor units, as I noted, the first of its kind in the G7. But none of this, absolutely none of these achievements and these investments on this project and others across the world would be possible without the amazing energy workers who do this every day. And it's why I'm so pleased to be joined today by Jeff Purnell, the president of the Power Workers Union, who I know will be a critical partner as we continue to expand our nuclear fleet at home and abroad, like we have just done in Romania, delivering jobs and economic growth for Ontario workers and our families. And so the families of Ontario, faced with challenging interest rates and inflation, the cost of living, let me make a solemn commitment to you that our Premier and I and this entire team assembled will never raise taxes. We will never allow us to go back to the skyrocketing energy costs of the past. We cannot go back to where seniors and families were choosing between eating and heating their homes. We will stand up for affordability, and that means standing up against the carbon tax. And I'm undertaking this ambitious plan, working with the energy sector to expand our nuclear fleet so we create even more opportunities internationally to sell and export this proven technology abroad to create jobs right here at home. Ontario is, and we will continue to be, a clean energy leader because of all of these incredible workers. And for that, I thank you for this incredible opportunity to be present, to announce our progress and investment, and turn it over to the President of the Union, Jeff, with us today. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you again, Minister Lecce. I can't thank you enough for this announcement. We've had several good announcements as of late in the energy sector. But the announcement today reiterates the support of the government, the previous Minister of Energy, Todd Smith, and now Minister of Energy, Stephen Lecce, to Ontario's nuclear industry. The thousands of jobs being created to support Ontario's international position as a supplier of nuclear technology, and the thousands of more supporting nuclear generation in Ontario will help propel Ontario into the next decade and beyond. The nuclear supply chain provides thousands of jobs and economic prosperity across Ontario. The current refurbishments at Darlington and Bruce have already added millions of dollars to Ontario's economy. Nuclear power is the backbone to our electricity system, providing secure, affordable, and zero-emission electricity to Ontario. The construction of new SMRs at Darlington, the proposed large-scale reactors at the Bruce, and the refurbishment of 4 reactors in Pickering will continue to serve Ontarians into the future. Nuclear power supplies base-load electricity that will continue Ontario's legacy as a green economy, an economy that flourishes because it uses affordable, clean, zero-emission nuclear energy. The 18,000 hardworking members of the Power Workers Union will continue to generate, transmit, and distribute the clean electricity that creates opportunities for sustainable, high-paying, high-skilled jobs. Ontario's nuclear energy plan ensures reliable, affordable, environmentally responsible electricity and will build economic growth for Ontario's communities while promoting intelligent reform to Ontario's energy policy. I'd now like to hand the podium back to the Honourable Energy Minister Lecce.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. For members of the media, we are now at the time where we are opening a few questions. From a question perspective, please, if you could limit it to one question and then one supplemental, just to give your media colleagues the opportunity to ask a question. Thank you very much. Who do we have? And please state your name and the outlet.
Okay, Allison.
Hello, Allison Jones.
Nice to see you, Allison Jones.
Your new ministry
Yes.
has a new title, Energy and Electrification. Hoping you can talk a bit about the mandate that comes along with that. What are you going to do with the sort of electrification part of it? Are you going to sort of push more sectors of the economy to be electrified, focus on transportation? Tell me a bit about your vision for the electrification part of your portfolio.
You know, I think the Premier's vision is fundamentally to ensure that we are building the energy infrastructure to meet the demand of our economy. And we clearly understand, you know, when you've got Volkswagen and Honda and Stellantis and the electric arc furnaces in Hamilton, the energy outputs, because of the foreign investment we've attracted, the tens of thousands of jobs we've brought into Ontario and repatriated back to the province after they fled, the former government. The reality is we need more energy. And the mission of our government is to build upon Ontario's already ambitious plan to scale up our energy using all forms, be it nuclear and natural gas and renewables, where you need to take an all-the-above approach to build for the future. We are confident that we have the best energy sector in the country and world. We are literally so much so that days into my ministry, we went to Romania to sell Canadian expertise in Ontario's leadership at Can-Do Technology. And I was proud to see foreign nations and ministers and leaders validate the expertise and leadership of Ontario's nuclear workers and technology. And so the emphasis for our ministry will be expanding affordable, reliable, and of course, clean energy for the people of Ontario. But what we will not do, and I cannot underscore this enough, is we will not pursue a path, an ideological path, that will deny some forms of energy when we need all of them to help fuel our economy because we are growing. There's a population increase of 1 million people per year. And so we need to be responsible, not ideological. Pragmatism must reign here. And so that's why we are today announcing the next phase of construction on the first small modular reactor of its kind in our country and across the G7 and part of the industrialized world. We're building 4 here. We're expanding Bruce. We're extending the life of Pickering. These are massive investments to ensure we have the energy security to build our economy. And our Premier has been very clear. We are attracting investment. We are creating new jobs. There's an economic renaissance in manufacturing taking hold after 300,000 workers lost their jobs and livelihoods because of high taxes and, frankly, irresponsible government actions. So we've taken a different path. And so the new emphasis for my mandate is to build energy infrastructure that is affordable, that is reliable, and, of course, continues to be clean for the people of Ontario. And that's what we're doing today. It's what we did in Romania days ago when we sold we're selling technology abroad. It's another reminder for me that we are literally the national and a global leader in clean energy.
So when you talk about ideology, are you talking about natural gas and the use of natural gas, particularly when it comes to electricity generation? Obviously,
Right.
You know, we've needed to rely on it more for supply and flexibility.
Right.
But that has come with increasing emissions from the electricity sector. But when you talk about ideology, it sounds to me like you're maybe not in favor of moving towards a moratorium or phase out on natural gas in the electricity system?
We have massive demand for energy in Ontario. You know, this is a different reality than we were even 10 years ago. We are literally going to need to build more energy to meet the needs of growth. And a responsible government would use an all-of-the-above approach, keeping in mind that our province has reduced our greenhouse gas emissions, unlike other governments in the country. We are meeting our targets. Having said that, we can do that without denying some forms of energy. And, you know, frankly, I recall in the legislature just some time ago, the Liberal Party in Ontario introduced legislation that literally would deny natural gas to the homes of Ontario. I mean, this is a radical concept. I mean, there is no alternative. We need nuclear and natural gas and renewables to be part of our mix. And so, yes, it is entirely ideological to suggest that that is a responsible path. That path, according to the independent electricity systems operator, provided objective analysis to the government of Ontario and said that plan will lead to brownouts and to escalating, skyrocketing prices. No responsible government would ever pursue that path, and yet that is the position of one of the political parties in the legislature. And these workers will lose their jobs as a consequence if we have anti-energy policies taking hold in the province of Ontario. We cannot do that. We must resist it. in my community in Vaughan, I met so many parents and seniors who struggled with energy poverty. We will not, our Premier made a commitment, we will not turn our backs on the people and the families and the seniors of this province. We will not allow our province to revert into energy poverty. And that is what the Liberals will do. Be under no illusion. That is literally their stated plan. They introduced legislation to make it so. And thank God progressive Conservatives stood up in opposition to that, because common sense needs to reign in this province when it comes to responsible energy policy. I mean, look, this is a party, with respect, that brought in and signed 33,000 contracts that were over market. And the taxpayer, the people of Ontario, working families are paying the price today for that still. And so we have a responsible plan to build clean, reliable energy, affordable energy. We're expanding our nuclear fleet, but to be fair, we're supporting all forms of energy, including renewables, because we're going to need all of that. We need all forms of energy in order to build our province. So we'll continue to expand our energy sources, and that's why today's announcement is very critical to that success. Thank you. Hi, Jamie.
Minister, congratulations in your new role. We're not
Thank
in
you.
school anymore.
We are not.
I'm trying to drill down to the exact what you mean. So wind turbines are back on the table, solar electricity. Could you define what you think is renewable and what we should be doing in Ontario?
Yeah.
Because I know that the previous Minister of Energy had wind turbines taken down in his writing.
Look, we're in a different time. I mean, look, we are technology agnostic. We support all forms of technology that are going to help us fuel and grow our economy. Nuclear is a critical part of our success. We are a leader. When I was in Romania, the CANDU reactors that were built many decades ago, require refurbishment. They're turning to Ontario as the global expert to produce and refurbish Unit 1, one of the major units that are requiring refurbishment. So that is a very positive story of our success and leadership. So we're going to support all forms of energy production. Nuclear, hydroelectric, all of these are anchors of our success in Ontario. But we support all forms of energy, Jamie. We do. And we need them all. It is irresponsible to deny any form of energy in the province. And that's why today we are literally making progress on time and on budget on the first small modular reactor of its kind in the G7. That is how we fuel growth. That is how we ensure we continue to build our industrial base, build the economy for our young people, where I could intersect my former role with my current role. 2 million children are going to depend on our ability to get this right for tomorrow. We've got the energy for today. We need to look forward to tomorrow, and a responsible government is building out. So we will use all forms of energy to produce reliable, affordable, our emphasis, and clean energy for the people of Ontario.
Wind turbines, can you say that? Is that included?
We are technology agnostic. Truly, it's going to be done through competitive procurements, and we'll support any form of energy that allows us to deliver affordable, reliable energy to fuel our growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you.
Hello, it's
Good
Lorenda
morning,
with
Lorenda.
CBC. So you say that all forms of energy are back on the table. I'm thinking about wind turbines, solar, the charging stations that your government took out previously. How much extra money do you think this is all going to cost to then make this switch?
Our emphasis, obviously, today is very much on building up our nuclear fleet. Be under no illusions, we see that as a critical part of our success in Ontario. It is affordable, it is reliable. It is literally the envy of the world. We are exporting our expertise to parts of the world. There's an expression of interest from Poland to Saskatchewan and New Brunswick for SMRs. So we are proud of our success in the nuclear sector. We're proud of the work we're doing, of course, here in Darlington, but we also recognize that we need to build more energy capacity and infrastructure to fuel our growth. We are literally growing at an unprecedented speed in people and in our industrial base. We are growing our economy. It is a challenge, but it is a good place to be because we are attracting so much investment. Minister Fedeli and our Premier are having such an impact on attracting job-creating investment. So we are going to lean into the fact that reliable energy and affordable energy must be at the crux of our economic policy for growth, and it very much is. And so that's why today, the fact that we have brought home a deal, a 7-year contract worth $360 million is going to create jobs here in this province, is the success story we want to replicate across Ontario. And I'm absolutely confident we will do so with the plan in place and scale it up to build it and build the infrastructure and the energy need to meet the demands of growth.
What do you say to those people who are probably going to be listening to your answers and thinking, oh my goodness, this is once again this government, having to reverse something and costing a lot more money? What do you say to those people?
I asked them to look back to the former Liberals where they couldn't afford their hydro bills. I mean, the investments we've made have been responsible, pragmatic, and affordable that are yielding results for taxpayers and for ratepayers. We once again have affordable energy back to the province of Ontario because of, not in spite of, our government's policies and reform to undo the disastrous Green Energy Act, where we literally were signing 33,000 contracts and then wasting energy without the capacity to harness it. We're building the largest battery plant, a facility of its kind in the country to store energy. So we are approaching this with a strong support of nuclear energy. We want reliable, affordable energy to be part of our solution and of our future. And we're going to continue to invest. But there's going to be a cost to inaction today for the people of Ontario tomorrow if we don't invest and expand our nuclear fleet, as well as other forms of energy. And we're proud to do that today, particularly given that we are literally feet away from the location, the physical space where the first small modular reactor of its kind in our country will be built, one of 4, here in this community. And I just think that is exactly how we avert the situation you cited of higher costs and higher impacts on the government and on the people. It's by planning ahead, working ahead, and keep in mind the record here at OPG and likewise across our energy sector is to deliver it in nuclear on time and on budget. That is a rare comment to say in this space. So we're proud to say it often because it's our value proposition to the world. How are you?
Good. How are you, Minister?
Very
Siobhan
well.
Morris,
Hey,
CTV. You're talking a lot about future planning, some time down the road.
Sure.
I know a lot of people are anxious thinking about the near term. We are in for, forecasters tell us, a hotter than usual summer.
Sure.
How confident are you that there is going to be the energy supply while we're going through all this transformation for people to run their air conditioners and all the things they need through the hot months?
We are absolutely confident in our capacity to meet the demands of families today. We have expanded, of course, our nuclear fleet. We are making major investments in Bruce and likewise here. And we've also expanded natural gas and using all forms of renewables. So we have been very committed to the expansion of energy infrastructure to build up that capability. We're good for, today is not our challenge. We're thinking about tomorrow. And that's really the difference between many types of governments when they're so obsessed in the now and they're not thinking about the needs of our families, of our economy, of our small businesses and our industrial base tomorrow. And that's where the Premier gave me a clear mandate. I need you to think about tomorrow. Think about the future. Plan for it to avert the short-term sighted disastrous policies that, frankly, the former government implemented that really cost not just, the economy or the Treasury. It cost you, the people of Ontario, and we will never allow that situation to be repeated again. We will never allow families in this province to have to literally choose between eating and heating. That is part of our past, a part of our collective past, and so therefore our emphasis today is to plan for that, and that's why we're making progress on time and on budget on the phase 1 of the small modular reactor. It's why we're going to commence construction today on phase 2 of the first small modular reactor. It's why we're moving forth in Bruce with the refurbishment and expansion, and it's why we're delivering enhanced energy outputs across the economy. But we are committed, we are confident, we have reliable, we have affordable, and of course we have clean energy for the people of Ontario this summer. We continue to invest and support conservation efforts for sure, but we are ready for the summer. We're ready for well beyond the summer, but we're also thinking about down the road how we harness that investment and how we deliver better affordable energy to build our economy and to grow our population.
The IESO did say that it's possible Ontario might need to borrow power from other jurisdictions in the event of severe weather this summer and next. It seems to me that every jurisdiction is dealing with this, right? Like we're in a warming climate, more extreme weather. You talked about the need for conservation. Should Ontarians be doing anything differently just to try and take the load or take some strain off the power system just in case? Because I know you said they are worried about the down the road, but they are worried about the immediate future too.
Sure. We're confident to have reliable and affordable and clean energy for families this summer. We're absolutely confident in our ability to deliver that for the people of Ontario without imposing higher taxes as recommended by some of the parties opposite. But look, we obviously support conservation. We made a series of investments to help families in their homes, upgrade homes and windows. Conservation efforts are being led through various utilities, and we support them. We all have a role to play as Canadians and Ontarians to reduce our environmental footprint. But be assured, we have one of the cleanest energy grids on the continent. Nearly 90% of the energy we produce is emission-free. That is the value proposition when Minister Fideli and the Premier go around the world, and investors are looking for places to build and manufacturing facilities. One of the great success stories is that we can say, unlike many jurisdictions in the U.S., that the vast majority, nearly 90% rather, of our energy mix is emission-free. We're one of the few jurisdictions that have reduced our emissions while not imposing higher carbon taxes as the Liberals would do. So this is a great competitive advantage, and we're going to take this story to the world. And the world is watching Ontario as we bring back hundreds of thousands of jobs, as we lower taxes and create the economic conditions for growth. And there's clear causal connection between a more market-oriented economic policy that's lower taxes, that's supportive of workers, and that ultimately supports affordability. And that is our number one priority that we will deliver today. It's going to be aided by the delivery on time and on budget, as I've reaffirmed to the leadership of OPG. That is my expectation, that you will do that again. And I know they will, because that's been their record for a generation. And so we're proud to work with them and work with the workers here, and we're grateful to you all. Thank you all for the work you're doing in Ontario, because you are making a difference, and you have allowed Ontario to be the light in the world as an example of harnessing ingenuity and technology. And with that, I thank you. Thanks so much. Okay.